going on, guys? Welcome to my bedroom decluttering video. In today's video, I'm going to be decluttering my bedroom. Like my dresser, my closet, under my bed, all of those weird boxes of things and bags of things that I have in my room. Some of it is trash, some of it is clothing that I haven't worn in like a million years, or clothes that I bought that just don't fit and I just don't like wearing them. There's a lot of clothing clutter. There's also just a bunch of weird random stuff that doesn't belong in my bedroom or anyone's bedroom, really. And how it ended up there in the first place, I have no idea. But we're going to go through all of that. Probably the most embarrassing part of this video is that I always have had this weird tendency to end up with like trash and random things in my dresser drawer or my nightstand drawer. I empty my pockets and I just throw it in the drawer, or I have a bunch of stuff like just thrown onto my dresser, and then if people are coming over and I'm doing like a quick tidy, I just scoop it into the drawer and forget about it forever. So I'm going to go through all of that stuff, and I'm going to talk about what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to find a home for in my home but just not in my bedroom, what I'm going to donate, and then I'm just going to throw out a bunch of trash. And I'm hoping that you can do this along with me. Now, the only thing kind of specific that I do in this video, I'm not following any type of trendy decluttering method or system. Not that all of them are bad, some of them are fantastic, and I am going to try to use some of those systems in other videos on my channel. I'm certainly not an expert in this, and so I will use some expert advice eventually. In today's video, I just kind of did things intuitively. The only thing that I want you to kind of note is that I created like a station or like a surface for me to put all of the stuff that I'm going to declutter. And in my case, I'm using like a spare room that I have in my basement. So my basement is finished. We don't use it. It's a mess. It is probably the most cluttered area of my house, and eventually I'm going to be working my way downstairs because I'd like to create some usable space down there. Right now it is like, it's unbelievable. I think I showed you little snippets in my first two videos. It's awful down there. But I managed to clean up the living room enough that I can take everything from my bedroom down there and sort through it. Now the reason I'm doing it that way is because I work full-time and I have kids and I have other commitments and responsibilities, and I'm not able to do like a decluttering marathon that lasts a week long. Once I go through my bedroom, I need to be able to go back in there and sleep, so I can't just leave everything piled on my bed. So I'm just taking everything out of my room just in case life happens and I have to stop. At least I feel like I made some progress. Other people will warn against this and they'll say like to kind of do it all at once, but it's just not practical for me right now, and it might not be practical for some of you guys. The reason I chose my counter space downstairs, if I didn't have that, I'd probably use a folding table, guys, or like a bed, like a spare bedroom bed or something. I wouldn't put everything on the floor. I think that kind of looks cool when you like spread everything out on the floor and you can see it, but the problem with that is that you're bending over multiple times or having to like kneel down and get back up. And I mean, I'm only 40. I am in good shape. Kneeling down and getting back up, it's not a big deal for me. It might be a big deal for some of you guys. What is a big deal for me is hours of like being hunched over or bending over and picking something up a bunch of times. You're going to end up with a sore neck or a sore back. I've done that to myself in the past. I've gone through like cleaning marathons where I completely wear myself out and feel exhausted, and I don't want to do that this time. So I'm going to put everything kind of at counter height so that it's just a little bit easier on my body. And that's what I'm going to do. So today's video is going to be me going through all my bedroom, and I'm just going to kind of show you guys everything and talk about what I think I'm going to do with the stuff, and show you like the process, and hopefully you guys can clean along with me and either listen to me in your headphones, or you can take your phone or your laptop or whatever kind of close to you where we clean and where you're going to clean, and we'll clean together. Make sure you have a drink of water handy, and you have comfy clothes on, and get your headphones in or get your phone next to you, and let's really get into this mess. Make sure you have a laundry hamper or a garbage bag, I should say, and some boxes to help you to sort through some of your things. Today I am decluttering my bedroom, and I hope that you're going to join me in doing this. And we're going to talk a little bit about the decluttering process itself, and I'm going to talk you through exactly what I'm doing, in what order, and kind of the method behind my madness today. Speaking of which, I'm not following any known decluttering methodology or method or anything that I read. I'm just going to go through this intuitively. I have done the KonMari method and it was fantastic. I'm just not at a place in my life where I can do that right now. So if you don't know anything about the KonMari method, you take all like items and you pile them all together. You go through your entire house, you get all the clothes, all the paper, all the sentimental items, you put them all in one spot and you go through each thing. Oh, there's Melvin. Oh my goodness, my little frog from when I was a kid. We're going to talk about sentimental stuff like Melvin a little bit later. We're going to talk about fantasy clutter, stuff like this artist picture cleaner. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Anyway, in today's decluttering video, this is the method we're going to follow. We're going to follow the just friggin' do it method. I'm going to start piling everything on my bed. I'm just showing how many little bowls I have of odds and ends and garbage and, old pieces of screwdrivers. Why that's in my room, I have no idea. Anyway, I would like you to join in with me. I just want you to start taking all of your clothes out of your drawers and just pile it on your bed. If you find anything in there as you're going through this process that's definitely not going back in your drawer or garbage or something like that, you can chuck it right now at this point. Or you can just pile it all on your bed and deal with it later. Doesn't even matter. You do you. See? Here's what I'm talking about. The weird stuff in my dresser drawer. Like, who does this? I think this is something I would be super embarrassed or feel ashamed about having all this weird clutter in my bedroom drawers and all throughout my house. But sometimes that holds us back from actually moving forward. We tell ourselves that we're messy, that we're disorganized, that we're not normal, everyone else is organized, and why can't we be? It's all a lie. We don't have time for that today. We only have time to move forward. Ooh, there's me in grade primary. And there used to be a picture of my cat Butterscotch on the other side and a googly eye. Don't try to find any storage solutions until you actually declutter your entire house. And then you can see what you already have that you can reuse, and you can see what you actually need. Sentimental item alert. Here is hair from my dog that I loved very much that passed away last year, Kyle, if you're familiar with my channel. And there's his paw print. I am not going to recommend that you get rid of all of your sentimental items. I'm not even going to recommend that you get rid of half of your items if you don't need to or want to. I want you to do what you need to do to make your space more peaceful and easier to maintain. And I have been through this process before, and I know that it works. So I have the confidence to go into this. If this is your first time decluttering, and if your home or whatever room you're decluttering is a lot more cluttered than this, or if it contains more sentimental items, then it might be more of an emotional process for you. When I went through this process years ago, I felt like there was a lot of personal reflection and growth. And I actually found that part of the process very therapeutic. But you have to be ready for that. And it is hard at first. If you're somebody that tries not to think about your feelings about things, or you really avoid thinking about the past, sometimes going through some of your belongings can trigger feelings like that. But if you approach it with the mindset of, I'm going to start over, I'm starting fresh, this is a renewal, and it's therapeutic for me, then I think that it can be very positive. Now I'm going to go through my husband's drawers. If you live with somebody else, decluttering becomes more complicated unless you live with somebody like my husband who does not care. These are his pants that he uses for painting. And this is a pair of shorts where the elastic is completely rotten out of it. So we're going to get rid of some of those things. Anyway, I'm starting to go through the things on my bed. What I want you guys to do. We piled everything on the bed. I also want you to look under your dresser, under your bed, in your nightstand drawers, any little boxes or bowls or bins of things in your room. You're going to get it all in one spot and sort through it. The only thing that I don't do in this video is I actually leave the clothing that's hanging in my closet hanging, because my closet really is not jammed with stuff. And it makes more sense for me to leave it on the hangers and go through it hanger by hanger and just take out things that I no longer wear. What I am doing right now is everything that I look at, every piece of clothing. First off, it's, do I still wear this? Do I still like wearing this? Is it useful? You can't, if you dislike your entire wardrobe, you can't get rid of everything unless you have excessive amounts of, money lying around to replace all of your clothing. But so you do have to look at it from a practical standpoint. But a Club Monaco sweater, that's a throwback. That's actually a new sweater. I bought it on Poshmark. It's a used, newish Club Monaco sweater. Anyway, any clothes that don't fit you anymore, clothes that you haven't worn in a year, clothes that every time you put it on, you end up taking it off and putting something else on. If it's something that's good quality that you like, but you don't like wearing it, then it is time to donate this item. I mentioned this before, it's good to have a place to sort through all of your stuff. I don't want to wait too long between the time that I kind of pile everything in one place and empty out and clean out my dresser and my closet. I don't want to leave too much time between that phase and when I actually deal with the stuff. I want to do that while I have some momentum going. Unfortunately, fortunately, I have a very full life and a very full schedule, including kids and a full-time job. And so that is why I'm not going through the KonMari process this time. In my next video, I will try to follow some type of method that is recognized as being effective. Okay, so we're still sorting through everything. So I really hope you're just sorting through all of your clothes, getting rid of any trash. You might notice that I have a laundry basket next to me. Eventually I move it up onto the bed. I'm just firing things in that laundry basket that I will not be keeping in my room, whether they're towels that have to go in a linen closet, things that I'm definitely going to donate, or things that I'm going to store somewhere else or put away somewhere else. Some of these are donation things that I'm going to put in another bag, the garbage bag. I'm putting garbage in the garbage bag. I don't throw away things that are good. I only throw away things like, for example, this t-shirt that's full of holes that I wear as a nightgown sometimes that I would not dare donate to anybody. I guess I could cut this up for rags, but it's going in the garbage today. Don't be too hard on yourself. The first time that I decluttered, I would say that it was a very emotional process. I think some of the items would remind me of different times in my life, whether it was times that I felt happy or felt sad or somewhere in between. And so that was tough. Some items, I call this fantasy clutter. You can see that skipping rope there. Some items are a reminder of things that you meant to do that you never did. Some items, like this Lenny Kravitz scarf, I calls it, are just ridiculous purchases that you made that cost way too much money that you never used, and that makes you feel bad about yourself. Do you remember the Lenny Kravitz scarf, anybody? I think it was like 2012 in Style magazine or something, Lenny Kravitz with this giant scarf. And there was a caption like, "It's 2012 and Lenny Kravitz is taking a crisp stroll through Central Park," or something like that. And he has this huge, ridiculous scarf on, and I thought it was ridiculous, and then I bought one. A couple weeks later, oh, Christmas wrapping paper, that's always good. Anyway, sometimes it can be emotional. The skipping rope is an example of fantasy clutter or clutter that talks to you in kind of a negative way that you don't even realize. For example, I saw this girl on Instagram, shout out to @LaurenJumps. She is this fantastically fit young person who skips rope. Like it's like a choreographed jump rope routine. to music that I really like. And she's like amazing. It probably took years of practice and dedication. And I watched her videos and thought to myself, I could do that. And so I bought this ridiculously overpriced skipping rope and used it a couple times and realized, oh, this is too much work. I have too many hobbies and I don't really like this that much. But the skipping rope is cool and it looks cool and I spent a lot of money on it. And so I'm just like, oh, I'll get around to that eventually. And it's okay to think like that. But I'm really not going to get around to it. And so that was just hanging in my closet forever. And every time I looked at it, I would just get like a little twinge, kind of subconsciously, of, that was a failed attempt at something I never did, and it was a waste of money. So in order to free yourself from all of those types of feelings, you just have to look at stuff and be like, it's not a big deal. It's okay to make impulsive decisions, but I'm not going to let that decision affect me any longer. And I mean, the skipping rope, that's kind of like a light and airy example. But there's other examples of things, clothing that don't fit you anymore, clothing that was donated to you maybe by a family member that you really love and you feel like the love is attached to the item and you have a hard time getting rid of it, but you're never going to wear it or it doesn't fit. If you look at it or hold it and feel like you don't want it anymore, you can almost feel like a little bit resentful, or maybe you don't even know how you feel about it, but chances are that it doesn't make you feel good by having that clutter in your space. And so it's okay to let go of things. One thing that I realized, and it took a little bit of practice and thinking this way, but my memories are not stored in physical objects like clothing. So yes, I say that, but I'm still keeping my old corduroy frog and my dog's hair in a box, and that's okay. But for the most part, I can look at things and say, okay, this object does have an emotional significance and it reminds me of a certain time in my life, but I still have those memories even after I get rid of the thing. And when you have a ton of clutter in your house, you can't even really display or cherish or appreciate those things. And I feel like the video is wrapping up kind of soon, but there's just one more thing that I wanted to mention. You can also start to think more about things that you're bringing into your house or things that you're taking on. So I'm talking a lot about physical clutter in this video, and we're dealing with physical clutter. But I also found myself at a point in my life where I had tons of physical clutter. And then I also had, I'm not going to call it emotional clutter. I'm going to say like lifestyle clutter. So I was just involved in too many things, taking on too many things, putting my kids in too many activities, to the point where we couldn't even enjoy what we had. I find my son is really like that about reading. And again, this is about physical clutter, but we bought him so many books that he kind of stopped reading. And he would never think this way, but I honestly feel like he was intimidated by the amount of books that he had. And so now we're more sensible and we wait for him to finish some books before we buy him some new books. And I feel like he's a lot happier about that and he reads more. But anyway, the clutter. So getting things off your plate is also a form of decluttering. And if you can do some of that, it's very helpful. And also, if you can stop bringing things into your home that maybe you want and you like the idea of, but you really didn't consider the amount of time and energy it takes to do the thing, dust the thing, care for the thing, clean the thing, move the thing. I'm going to give an example of, I don't know, this is not something we have anymore, but my husband and I bought this little Zodiac boat. We bought it used on Kijiji. We're not like boat rich. We just bought, it's basically like an inflatable Zodiac boat. It was a couple $1,000s and some rich person was selling it and it looked brand new, so we bought it. But what we didn't realize was that there's a lot of work that goes into cleaning something like that, storing something like that, maintaining the engine or the motor, I mean. winterizing it, getting it down to the water, having a dock, getting it out of the water. And if you are a boat enthusiast, or if you are somebody that's going to spend a lot of time with your boat and you don't have a million other hobbies, then this is not going to be a problem for you. But it became a burden for us. It became something that we felt guilty about not using when we weren't using it. I felt guilty because my husband would spend a ton of time cleaning it and winterizing it and getting it ready. And then my kids really weren't that into it. And we just have so many other hobbies and other outdoor things that we do. We really didn't use it enough to justify owning it. So there's always like the guilt, like we spent X amount of dollars on this. This is a really great thing that we should be enjoying. Oh, there's me in the newspaper when I started my YouTube channel. So in this ottoman that I'm opening right now, there's about 25 of the same newspapers in there. I'm going to go through those later. But my husband went out and bought 25 copies of the paper, and I think that's adorable. But the boat was not adorable. So we just felt like it was a burden. It was something that we looked at in a negative way. Yeah, we enjoyed it the 1 or 2 times that we used it, but we had to get real with ourselves and say, we're really not using this enough, and it's causing us more stress than it is enjoyment. Let's get rid of this. And we sold it for almost the same amount of money as we paid for it. Even if we didn't, even if we took a loss on it, getting rid of it is still better if it is making your life feel more heavy or you're starting to resent it in some way. We did miss it this year. There was one day where we were like, oh, it would be nice to have that little boat today. But overall, I'm glad that we got rid of it. And so I think about that for everything that I bring into my house now. Kitchen gadgets, anything, dishes, clothing, shoes, electronics for my kids, all of that. I think about, yeah, I want to have that, and yeah, maybe I can afford it, but would that money be better off in my pocket, and do I have the amount of time and the amount of space and energy to not only own that, but to maintain that? So anyway, we're coming to the end of the video. Here is the before, okay? And the after is coming up. Now my closet, you noted that I didn't take everything out of my closet, so this video is a little bit confusing. There's the before of the closet. But my clothes were pretty streamlined, and so I just left them hanging on the hangers, but I really do advise you to take everything out if you can and pile it all on the bed. I didn't show that in this video because I didn't really get rid of much that was in my closet. But here's the after. Those boxes are all things that I'm going to go through. And I'm going to go through them in another video that I'm going to post either today or tomorrow of me actually going through all the stuff. And we're going to have an in-depth conversation about decluttering and how clutter impacts your mental health. And we are going to hopefully get through some piles of stuff together. Here's an example of why decluttering is helpful. So here's earrings that I will never wear because they're way too heavy for my ears and I find them uncomfortable. They were gifted to me by somebody in PR through my YouTube channel. This is my grandmother's diamond and sapphire ring that I absolutely love and adore and that I do wear. Very special to me. So why is it in this box with like change and costume jewelry that I don't wear, and like look at all this weird odds and ends costume jewelry, and like I think I saw an Advil in there. Oh, there's Melvin. When you declutter the stuff that you don't use, that you don't wear, you have more room to organize and care for the things that you do really love. So in this video series, as you can see, my bedroom is not perfect. Like my husband's socks and underwear are in these little totes that have cars and trucks and airplanes on them that were in my kids' room. But I am not going out and buying any bins or storage solutions or baskets or anything until I get through my whole house, because I don't want to start buying more things and spending more money just to declutter. I'm going to wait till the end. So we're going to declutter my entire house, and then we're going to go through like deep cleaning and some interesting cleaning concepts. And then I'm going to try to style my house a little bit for not very much money. Sounds easy, right?
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I hope you got something done today.
This video ended up being long, as I predicted. It actually took me about 3.5 hours to get through my entire room. I had to edit a lot of that out. I also had to edit out things where it would show, like, I take mail out of my drawer and it would show our mailing address, or there was even a piece of mail with our social insurance number on it. So I edited some things out, but I tried to keep it all in and just sped it up as much as possible. But anyway, I will be posting the video where I actually sort through all of the things that I took out of my room. I'm going to post that today as well, and we're going to call that part 2. So I'm going to link it at the end of the video, and you can watch that if you are interested. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got something done. Now, YouTube is not new to me, obviously. I've been around for a while, but making these cleaning and decluttering videos is new to me. I'm not making these videos to make money or to gain more subscribers. If anything, I'm losing subscribers as I'm veering away from making content that's just about hair. But what I want to do in these videos is to motivate myself to get through decluttering and eventually, like, really deep cleaning and really organizing my house and making it more efficient and just have better ease of living. But I'm really hoping to create value for the people watching this, because I love to help people. And that's one of the reasons that I became a nurse, because I love to help people. And so if there's something about this video that's not helpful, or if there's a way that I shoot it where I'm leaving things out that you would really like to see, just if you have any suggestions or any critiques or anything that you would like to say, please leave it in the comments section below. You can give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and a big old thumbs down if you didn't like it. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.